Now, there's something that happened with American entertainment, I would say around 2016, when companies realized, okay, well, we need to appeal to the wider audience. We need to make our products more appealing, and we're going to get consultants in. Like, we're going to get consulting companies to write the story for us because we are absolutely incapable of hiring our own writers. Like there are no writers in the world anymore. You gotta get the same consultants. And the idea with the consultants, as I mentioned before, is to make sure that your game doesn't cause any type of controversy. So you're not going to have people on Twitter that are trying to cancel your developers. And it's also to appeal to the wider audience, right? Like to get more people involved. Now, allegedly, if this is so good, like everyone would clap and everyone would admire the companies that hired the consultants. So it makes no sense when all these companies are really upset that there is a website now which is showing, oh, you're a company and you hired this very progressive and enlightened consultant. Congratulations, like we want the world to know. And the companies are like, no, please don't tell anyone. Well, didn't you want to appeal to the wider audience? Isn't this what the modern audience wants? I mean, the modern audience definitely loves Gotham Knights. They definitely love Suicide Squad. I heard Forspoken is a blockbuster hit. And to be fair, people will talk about Forspoken even 10 years from now. Just like they're talking about E.T. Look for the video game E.T. It's got a very interesting story about it. I think you can even find it in the desert right now. Like there's cartridges of it. I'm not going to give you spoilers, but it's an interesting story. But let's go back to our website. Why do gamers dislike woke products so much? What did woke products ever did to the gamers? Because, you know, gamers do like video games from other cultures. Like, they seem to not have an issue with games coming from South Korea. They seem not to have an issue with games that are coming from China. So, like, if the idea is that all these gamers are just, cisgender white men that are white supremacists, why do they consume so much content that's coming from non-white people? And the answer is that it's got nothing to do with race. Okay, like this is the skirt that the consultants, the grifters are hiding behind, and they're like, oh, you're a bunch of race. No, like this is not about race. What it is about is being insulting to your customers. Most of the community managers are being the ultimate chicky shits online. Like they're banning people for even bringing up or talking about any topic that they don't like. They go around their communities, flinging their big fat cocks around, and then whenever someone steps out of line and talks about a topic that they don't enjoy, they ban. So that is the first thing. You don't want a company to lecture you about morality or politics or anything like that, because it's not their place. Their place is to be a little monkey that dances and provide entertainment. You don't want to hear about Donald Trump. You don't want to hear about immigration. You don't want to hear about any of this nonsense where you're in the Alan Wake community. Which brings us to the second thing, is the bait and switch that many woke games do, right? So you have a game that's called Alan Wake, and you don't get to play as Alan Wake. Instead, you get to play as this black woman, which is fine if they were to make a spin-off or a different IP or anything like that. Why do you do the bait and switch? It's the same like The Last of Us too, where they kill off the main character and then you get to play with others. It's like, why do you keep doing the bait and switch? Like, if you want to have a game where you play as a different character, then have a different game. Have a different IP or make it in the same universe, but call it something else. Why are you constantly doing this shit? And this is what a lot of gamers dislike. Then it's also the aesthetics. Like, most female characters are made ugly on purpose. Well, like, surely you can find an artist that can draw a woman more pretty than this, right? Surely you can find an artist that can draw a character more wholesome than this. I mean, the Japanese seem to do it. The South Koreans seem to do it. The Chinese seem to do it. The Americans just fail again and again and again. We notice that the female characters are looking more and more masculine, more and more androgynous. And this is the controversy with Pokemon Go, where most of the people, even on the Reddit boards, are absolutely upset with the new changes. The female characters are made to look androgynous. It's not even about sexuality. It's not about, they're covering the cleavage or they're giving them smaller breasts. No, it's like the manly jawline, the broad shoulders, the body positions, the smaller breasts, like all of these put together with the small hips. And again, gamers do not want this. I see women that have really high Twitch view numbers, and they're playing video games, and when they play Stellar Blade, they actually said, wow, she's so pretty, oh, I want to cosplay that. Because women like sexy characters too. To be honest, if they were to make Kratos fat, with a beer belly, and you know, make him look more like me, I would probably not like the game God of War. No, I actually like to see these male characters represented at peak physique, you know, like peak human condition, because it's a fantasy game. I don't care about the realism. I don't care, like, if this guy can have his bow drawn for more than 10 seconds, because in real life he wouldn't be able to do it. I don't give a shit. All I care about is, does it look cool? If it's not cool, funny, or sexy, I don't see why I should spend $70 on it. And you know, like, look at some of these titles. They speak for themselves. Gotham Knights. How can you possibly make a video game which had more budget than the original Gotham games, which had more developers working on it, which have access to better technology than Batman Arkham Knight, and yet you managed to make such a colossal flop like this shit? Suicide Squad, same question. How can you manage to then make a game that make Gotham Knights look good? Like, unironically, there were people saying, you know what, Gotham Knights actually is worth revisiting after seeing Suicide Squad. And they were like, you know, maybe this game wasn't that bad. I mean, at least it had Batgirl, and she doesn't look like Harley Quinn here. Which, by the way, like, Harley Quinn was supposed to be a wholesome character, very feminine, very, you know, peak human condition because she's a gymnast. And then they managed to create this Californian abomination, who then insults the fans by looking at her old costume and goes like, ugh, that was so wrong, right? Like, it implies that she basically even had a mental illness back then because she used it. And it's almost like Joker pushed her into wearing that costume. Again, insulting the fans, you know? This is, I think, why most people don't like WoW games, is because of the behavior of the community managers and the developers that are just going out of their way to insult the fans. And at this point, they know, right? Like, they know that they have grifters in their companies. They know that all of this is a grift, that it's not actually good for business. So they don't like a website that collects all these games and allow the customer to get informed. Now, obviously, in the year of the Lord, 2024, almost everything is woke. Like, it's difficult to find the game that isn't. So what I am doing, and what I would recommend other people do, is just to play old games. Like, if you manage to get over the fact that the graphics look worse, you will notice that old games, it's almost like they're coming from a different universe, and they're actually, unironically, fun to play. I got so many games on my Steam's backlog that I purchased during various promotional offers and, you know, like the Steam summer sales and all that. And now that I'm getting back into them and I'm playing them, I am having a lot of fun. I've never played those games before, but again, you know, like, there's not much entertainment now. Like, well, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to play Gotham Knights? Do you want me to play Suicide Squad? Absolutely not. I'm playing Nikkei, I'm playing old Steam games, and it's very entertaining, and you actually get to see how good storytelling is being done, and how immersive those games were. And it's interesting, because it's not just the fact that the story is better, but the gameplay is original. Like, these games were coming from a time where developers weren't afraid to try to innovate, where they weren't afraid to try and do something new. And you notice the huge difference. Now, regarding the website itself, I don't know how popular it's actually going to be. But still, it's a funny meme at this point. I hope that more people use it. If they actually start adding content to it, maybe they can create an actual website that is going to last, that is going to be sustainable. Unfortunately, websites like Kotaku, Polygon, these websites that have written articles are dying, and it's mostly because people like to consume YouTube. They like to consume video format. They don't really like to just read articles. But if they actually manage to get something new to the table, who knows? My advice, and if anyone knows or can talk to the owner of the website, my advice is to bring something positive to the table, something that doesn't exist on the internet, which would be to have some creators that play indie games that most people haven't heard of, and they consider those games to be good, and then either make a review or to talk and promote those games. Like, for instance, Fear and Hunger. Now, Fear and Hunger is actually a popular game. Most people know about it, but it's a great example, right? Like, you talk about Fear and Hunger, you have an article where you're telling people, hey, there's this game, it's really great, it's an indie game, like, go check it out. There's also The Coffin of Ashley and Lele, or Helltaker, or any of these other games that I know of because, they've become popular, and they've become popular due to word of mouth, because no other website is promoting them. So if you manage to have like what Total Biscuit used to do, the segment WTF is, and they were talking about a fringe game, then you can actually have Twitch streamers, people like myself as well, that will go onto the article of our website, we would talk about it, and we bring eyeballs to your website. Like, you would have more people checking it out and be like, oh, this is actually really interesting. But anyway, let me know what you guys think, and if you like this video, do leave a comment in the comment section, and also if you want to support the channel, I have a link to my Subscribe Star and my Patreon in the description, and I will give you the best buyer's remorse in exchange. Well, I'll see you guys there, and until later, take care.